Green screen. New green screen. New stuff. Okay. Hello everybody. I'm in a green screen now. This is my first time doing chroma key for green screen. So if it sucks, don't judge me, please. Thank you. The term overnight success is thrown around a ton in the gaming industry, generally more of a hyperbole than anything else. No one really takes the idea of a literal overnight success. It's generally something that you say if a game comes out of nowhere and blows up rather quickly, but blowing up generally takes a little bit of time. Any game blowing up takes a couple months to really actually get the ball rolling. FORTNITE took a little bit to get moving, Minecraft took a little bit to get moving, and the term overnight success isn't generally meant to be taken literally. However, I do find it slightly humorous that the game we're talking about today is an actual, literal overnight success. Apex Legends is a free-to-play, hero-based battle royale shooter developed by Respawn Entertainment. And if we're talking strictly a YouTube algorithm checklist part of it, free-to-play, battle royale, shooter, and character-based, pretty much check off every single box there is. There isn't one YouTuber on the face of the planet that isn't salivating at the absolute amount of ad revenue you're going to gain from these specific keywords, me included. But with that big checklist, you have the makings of a massive success. And give or take 35 million players within the first week, I'd call that a pretty significant success. In fact, I don't think there's a single person out there besides some video game publisher investors that wouldn't consider that a pretty darn big success. However, with every big new success, there is a flurry of misinformation and sometimes just very strange differing opinions on said title, whether that be things like release schedules, characters, how the game was developed, so on and so forth. Some of the critique and opinions of the game can vary wildly, and while most to all people I've heard from believe that Apex Legends is a massive positive commercial and critical success, I still feel like I could do a service by creating a full-length critique on the game. So I'm here to provide a critique on Apex Legends, from all the positives and things it does well, to all the flaws and things it can work on, and everything in between. But first we need to start with some very interesting individuals: Vince Zampella, Jason West, and Respawn Entertainment. Let me tell you of a company you may not have heard of: Infinity Ward. Yes, that was a joke. Back in 2002, three men came together to go ahead and create this studio: Grant Collier, Jason West, and Vince Zampella. These men and their esteemed team over at Infinity Ward went to create such titles like Medal of Honor Allied Assault, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Some of these games you may have heard of, maybe, I don't know you. They also helped with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Kinda. And that's where our story gets interesting. Now, Grant Collier vanished off the face of the earth between development times of Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. No one really knows where he went. The assumption is that he was done working in the video game industry. He wanted to take his money and live a nice life as a private citizen. Can't blame him. It's just there's a lot of misinformation out there, and really nobody knows what he did besides people who knew the man. However, on March 1st, 2010, Activision amended a report and made a notification that two senior staff of Infinity Ward were being terminated for, quote, breaches of contract and insubordination. And these Infinity Ward members were soon escorted out of the building via security, apparently. If you didn't figure this one out, Jason West and Vince Zampella got the boot between the Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 time period. Within the next 2 months, half of the Infinity Ward staff left with them. 46 individuals left the company along with Jason West and Vince Zampella. What followed afterwards is a lot of back and forth information, but it was a lot of lawsuits. There's a lot of information back and forth with these lawsuits, but the one I found the most is that the ex-Infinity Ward employees sued Activision for $75 to $125 million in order to be paid for working on Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. A long story short, it was a lot of damages and unpaid work from the prior two games. Besides that, It's a lot of legal shit. Putting all of that aside, Vince and Jason went to go found Respawn Entertainment with the staff from Infinity Ward that they pulled out. At least most of the staff, around 34 or 38, I believe. This led them to create Titanfall, published by EA in 2014, and Titanfall 2 in 2016. While Titanfall 1 had some mixed critical acclaim, Titanfall 2 would have fantastic critical acclaim and really bad commercial acclaim. I don't think you can really ask a single person who has played Titanfall 2 and hasn't given it like a 9 out of 10 score. The game is absolutely phenomenal. It has a fantastic campaign, great shooting mechanics. The multiplayer is amazing, up there with the classics like Halo 3 and Call of Duty 4. It's phenomenal. I am biased, but it's great. Just pick it up. It's great. It's great. A lot of people had different reasonings why the game did not do so well commercially. The overwhelming majority believe that is due to a release date between Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1. I believe that is part of it, but there's also a couple other things like a lack of major media marketing, as well as it being off the heels of Titanfall 1, a general critical back and forth kind of title. Nothing makes a game harder to sell than being the sequel to a game that's generally got meh reviews. But anyway, that aside, Jason West is no longer in the picture. He has left Respawn Entertainment to pursue who knows what, maybe did the same thing as Mr. Collier earlier, I don't know. Jason West is gone. Vince Zampella is the lead CEO and owner of Respawn Entertainment. Respawn was then bought by EA in 2017 for varying amounts of money. I found some people saying that it was bought for $155 million with 150 extra million in equity. I was told that the company was bought for $445 million. And regardless of how much money it is, starting a company and selling it for, if at minimum, $155 million 7 years later is pretty goddamn good. Good job, Vince. Good job. Now, in the internals of Respawn Entertainment, they have a thing called action blocks. What an action block is you take 1 week of time to go ahead and work on a project that you want to work on. This can be anything in any department, whether it is coding, art, concept art, I guess, writers, anybody. Make something cool. Eventually, all these action blocks after the week are piled together and they choose if there's anything there they want to use for the game. One of these action blocks was the amazing mission in Titanfall 2, Affecting Cause. I do believe that the Ronin Titan, this big bad boy up here, might also have been an action block. However, that is not entirely 100%. Point being, 1 week, work on something cool, pile it together. Apex Legends was an action block. Apex Legends became the title that they decided to work on. It was an idea, perhaps a separate game mode, perhaps a whole game in its own right to be developed alongside something else. We don't know. The point being is it started as an action block and now is a fully fledged, after 2 years of working on it, free-to-play, battle royale, hero-based shooter. As far as I know, and I know a lot of people like to assume that EA twisted the hands of Respawn, but from everything I know, this was a Respawn idea, and a Respawn idea alone. They wanted to make this game. They chose to make this game. I know we don't really like EA, I get it, but this seems to be one of those times where EA was just like, hey, here's a bunch of cash, make us our money back. And Respawn put out a not only decently polished, but incredibly unique, fun, and enjoyable title that, after 35 million players later, probably is making their money back. This is how Apex Legends came to be, and this is the game we'll be discussing this far into the video already. Now, I said before that Apex Legends is your free-to-play battle royale character-based shooter, but if it acted like any of those things I just mentioned, I'd be lying. Apex takes a drastic departure from the extremely oversaturated battle royale market we are currently seeing right now, and really breathes a nice breath of life into this market and into these games that we are starting to see pop up more and more. Apex really feels like its own title. It feels like its own game, and that is extremely refreshing in a time like this. Now, what makes Apex stand out are 4 key components: squads, revives, characters, and TTK, or time to kill. And none of these are more obvious than the squad mechanic. In Apex, at least for now, you are forced into a squad of 3 people. If you are going by yourself, you're going to be backfilled with 2 other random guys, probably going to say the diss line to your mother. Doesn't matter, 2 other people if you have a random. Of these 3 people, one of them is your jump master. The jump master gets to decide where you choose to land yourself. And you could, of course, go on your own and go wherever the hell you want if you wanted to, but that is a pretty terrible idea because of the TTK part, which we will talk about later. Now, what complements this squad system is the incredibly new and unique pinging system that the game has, because sometimes, you know, I'm trying to play a little bit of fun times late at night, enjoying myself, you know, maybe jerk off a little bit, just have a good day. But then 11-year-old Tommy comes in from his ex-FORTNITE tournament and he wants you to start screaming on the microphone. And I want to be able to take that volume bar and go, whoop, and shut him up. But I don't want to lose the communication either. So what we have pinging. And this pinging system is the best pinging system in any game ever. No game allows me to act as a team and put 3 complete strangers together like this without saying a single word to each other. If you find a good gun, you ping it. You find some ammo you need, you ping it. You find some body armor that you already have but someone else might need, you ping it. You see an enemy, you ping it. You find your friend's mother, you ping it. You find a lost dog, you ping it. If I find any of my team's virginity, I ping it. Just kidding, they still have it. Point being, you can ping everything. Do you need a hop-up for your wingman so you can delete players from the fabric of space and time? You ping that. Ping where you're gonna go. Ping that you're defending an area. Ping enemies to see where they are. Ping a care package. You can ping everything. And if the pinging somehow is not enough, you have text chat and you have voice chat. But you see, it's not just the pinging that is so robust here. We also have to discuss things like the character interactions and what they do in terms of battle. One of my favorite things in Apex was I was super far away from my team. My mistake, I was looting, didn't really care enough, I was too far away. Now my teammates and I had no comms of any kind but the pinging system. But thanks to some of these extra added implements, Gibraltar was getting shot at. And naturally, whenever an enemy shoots at one of your teammates, they vocalize it. Gibraltar says something along the lines of like, I'm getting shot at, my brothers. Or Mirage does something like, oh, the shots fired and they're hitting me. Or Bloodhound says something like, oh, the All-Father graces me with his bullets. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Point being, they say something, and when Gibraltar returns fire, little gunshot marks appear next to their name, so I know he is engaged in battle. What did I do? I turned around, I grapple hooked my way, ziplined my way, pulled my big robot, big boy pants all the way up, and I went bang, 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 massive shotgun all of them to death, and saved my teammates without a single word or ping spoken. This pinging system and the subsequent things that came from it has made the first ever game where I can play with randoms as a team, and it needs to be commemorated. One of the reasons why the squad system of Apex works so well is with the addition of revives. Now, in every other Battle Royale game I have currently played, if you are downed, your enemies will generally attempt to thirst kill you. And thirst killing means they're going to go and shoot your downed body. Once you are dead, you have one of 2 choices. You either have to sit there and watch your buddy play through the entire game and wait for him to either lose or maybe win it sometimes, every so often it happens. Or you force your buddy to quit the game because neither of you want to sit there and do nothing for the next 20 minutes. Now, what Apex does is attempt to fix this thirst killing problem in 2 separate ways. The first one is the knockdown shield. The knockdown shield is a fun piece of equipment you can pick up that when you are down by an enemy, you can put your hands and feet down on the ground and you can slap a big fist up there and block incoming bullets depending on what level shield you are. I think the lowest is 100, the highest is 750 damage worth of bullets. Now this won't really help you a whole lot if you're in close proximity, but this will assist you a lot if you're getting sniped and maybe you got down far away. But let's say you die anyway. Your teammate didn't get to you, you got shot too many times, close range, whatever it is. Your teammate can then go to your death box and grab your fun little PDA iPad Steve Jobs machine and take it over after he runs a certain distance to a revive station. Do a small channel at the revive station, and boom, 10 seconds later via dropship, you are back in the fight with no guns, no ammo, no nothing but your fists, your wits, and your brass balls of steel. What makes this so fun is it assists with the aforementioned problem, and it also provides a decent bit of skill into it. You are, 1, extremely vulnerable when you are at the revive station. Your players that you revive are extremely vulnerable because they have no gear of any kind, and you are still forced to go to your buddy's death box to get their Steve Jobs machine. What's nice is this provides a lot of counterplay. Snipe a dude at the revive station, snipe a new person flying in, snipe a guy picking up the Steve Jobs machine. There's always a different way to deal with this revive system. And not only that, but once you use a revive center, it cannot be used again. And since they're littered around the map and there's only so many, and especially when the zone gets smaller, it makes it even harder, and those different revive stations are far more scarce. However, what can help a teammate when they fly back in via the dropship, or at least help them in the beginning stages as they try to get new guns, is the abilities their characters have. And the character abilities is one of the more interesting newer parts of Apex Legends compared to so many other titles. In Apex Legends, at the current moment, you have the option of 8 different characters. You've got Bloodhound for tracking religion, Gibraltar if you're a brother, Lifeline if you're a meta slave, basically, Bangalore if you're a smoker, Mirage if you're sassy, Pathfinder if you're sassy and a robot, Caustic if you're a masochist, and Wraith if you love Naruto. Each of these characters have a passive, an active, and an ultimate ability. Most of these abilities are surprisingly simple and not that game-changing, which I think is actually more to the strength of Apex Legends than its detriment. With the exception of a few and couple ultimates, I never feel like I ever lose a fight due to someone's abilities rather than just straight gunplay. If somebody outmaneuvers me as Wraith, tracks me down as Bloodhound, goes behind me as Pathfinder, bamboozles me as Mirage, or anything in between, I generally assume that I had a way to stop that, but I failed or couldn't under the pressure. I don't think any of the things that the characters have right now, minus maybe a couple, are anything that can really harm my personal one-to-one skill-based gun battle. These are just simply tweaks. Whereas a game like, let's say, Overwatch, a large portion of the character's abilities make up the bulk of the game, this is more akin to something like Rainbow Six Siege, where every character has an ability that helps them out, but at the end of the day, every single person can get one tap with a pistol to the head, and you all die the same. Now, my personal favorite legend is Mirage, the Bamboozler boy. His passive is when he goes down, he creates a little clone of himself falling down, kind of, and he himself goes invisible. Now, this is a generally not important kind of passive, but it does help you if you have enemies trying to thirst kill you. When everything is going crazy and everyone's running around, having that little escape window in the early starts of the game can be super useful. But this is maybe just the slight ability to reposition yourself and possibly get away. It really doesn't mean a whole lot, and it's not game changing. His tactical is decoy clone. What the decoy clone does is it runs in a certain direction dead forward until a designated area. This is very similar to the Holo Pilot in Titanfall 2, or for those of you more OG people, remember Halo Reach, remember the hologram in Halo Reach? Like that. Now you might assume that it's not very good because in both those games the hologram wasn't really that great. But what the hologram provides is 1, a very short cooldown, but 2, it allows you to completely readjust your opponent's position and allows for some pretty crazy jukes. Now if you're 1v1ing somebody and you know they're a Mirage, most of the time you're going to realize when they have a clone or not. But in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the battle, getting those first shots off are very important. And Mirage being able to mess with you is extremely useful. Not only that, but anyone who fires at his clone will have their position revealed on your HUD, which obviously does assist you even more with tracking where somebody is. Example, someone's hiding behind a rock. You decide to run up to that rock and you fire a shadow clone jutsu to your right and you run to the left. Now, you both make footstep noises as far as I'm concerned. So your opponent has 2 choices. Either they face you or they face your clone. If they choose to face you coming around that side of the rock, then it becomes a standard one-on-one gunfight, no different than any other legend in the game. Hopefully you do well, hopefully your aim is good. If they don't, they will then out of position themselves, have their back turned to you, and already be wasting ammo in their clip firing at your clone by the time you roll around behind them and you can put some lead in the back of their head and possibly up their ass. Now Mirage's ultimate is called Vanishing Act. What it does is it creates a crap load of clones all around you and makes you invisible for a certain period of time. This allows you to run really fast wherever the hell you want to go, and then once the invisibility wears off, you can do your normal stuff again. Now, this one ability needs one particular buff, in my opinion, the ability to choose when you decloak, because at the current moment, You decloaking is at a set time frame. However, it is great as a get out of dodge situation. You're being shot at, you're out in the open, everything's going crazy, you hit Vanishing Act, all your clones fly out, and you bail as fast as you possibly can. Now, Mirage is definitely not one of the best legends in the game. I would even call him possibly a little bit underpowered. However, what you can do with him shows the interesting characters having character, but not affecting gunplay style. All you are is messing with people. Make them waste ammo with your decoys, have them preoccupied with decoys, have them not know where you are through your Vanishing Act, get flanks off. Nothing that actually adjusts legitimate skill in gunplay, but adds just enough flavor to make the game a little bit more than your average Battle Royale game. Finally, that brings us to time to kill, the biggest and probably most major departure from the standard Battle Royale formula. Now, there are a lot of reasons why the time to kill in this game is different. However, I want to discuss more so on how the time to kill works and brings people into gunfights and engagements more often than any other BR game. Now, most BR games have a really fast time to kill. PUBG, you die very quickly. In FORTNITE, you generally die rather fast. However, you do have that nice buffer of building. In Blackout, you die generally pretty quick unless you got level 3 armor. Apex Legends, no. You are basically an Abrams tank. If you have the right armor and the right shields, you will eat damage like it is nothing. You will eat lead and shit out diamonds. It is impressive how much destruction you can take, which is why it's always surprising when you take this destruction and then someone with a wingman comes up and goes, pop, pop, watching you drop. Now, because of this very short time to kill in other BR games, it creates a very long-range engagement-centered title. Because you die so fast, you want to be far away from your enemy and pepper them down at a distance with whether it is sniper rifles, maybe long-range assault rifles, and anything in between. In Fortnite, you have the addition of building. This will obviously create your fights to be far, far closer together and will stop having the problem with snipers and such like that unless they get the drop on you. However, even so, when the building is destroyed, you will pop up there and demolish people. In Apex Legends, there are only 3 guns that can one-shot a full armor, full health enemy player. The Mastiff, the Kraber, and the Peacekeeper shotgun. The Mastiff and the Kraber are legendary weapons, so they technically don't really count, and even then, it's only if you hit a Kraber sniper rifle headshot or a Mastiff close range headshot. The Peacekeeper is the final one, and that one is generally only with a choke and a very close range shot, and it's not very common you can ever get a legitimate one-shot kill with this weapon. Apex time to kill is very long because the weapons you have generally don't deal as significant and as much damage as so many other Battle Royale games have. They also contain large amounts of recoil and very small magazine sizes, except for the Spitfire. Imagine only having 6 rounds in a wingman clip. This post brought to you by Spitfire Gang. Imagine needing to walk upstairs to get loot. This post brought to you by Pathfinder Gang. This is reinforced by how the health system is played out. You have your standard 100 HP that have your usual medkits to regenerate it. But then you also have your large amounts of armor that go into stacks of 2, 3, and 4. 25 health increments for each of these things, whether they be white, blue, or purple. Now, this armor will allow you to take an absolute crapload of damage as you play through the game. However, it comes at a cost. In order to recharge your armor like this, at least in the increments of 25, you need a large amount of consumable items. While you may have med kits, Phoenix kits, and shield batteries, those are far less common than syringes and shield cells, your main source of healing. So in order to gather the resources to continually refill your shields, you will be wanting to take more fights in your games. This is also true of the ammo and grenade system. Grenades take up a large amount of inventory space, and ammo also does, depending a little bit on what weapons you're using, but ammo becomes generally scarce as the game goes on. Especially if you're using certain weapons like the Spitfire, R301, R99, and so on, you will be burning through ammo like crazy, and the way to regenerate this ammo is to continually fight enemy players. And if you can't tell what I'm getting at, I'm saying that Apex rewards you for battle, whereas so many other Battle Royale games do not. They want you to gather up as much gear as you possibly can and then wait around until you find a good opportunity and deal with people. I cannot think of a single BR game that actively rewards you for fighting other players except for this one. And I'm sorry to sound like a broken record again, but this is also apparent with map design. And this is something that is really cool and not a lot of people realize. You have so many ways to traverse the map. Not only are certain characters already faster than others, Pathfinder in particular can just cross the entire map in seconds, but Wraith's incredibly fast speed boost, Bangalore's is a little bit situational, but Bloodhound's stim as well. There are a lot of different ways you can run quickly. And funny note, if you didn't know this, all the heroes run the same speed. I know, I thought my brother had a little bit of a thicker stride to him, but no, we all run the same. It's just a weird like animation look from your HUD in first person mode. I know, weird. But the amount of stuff in the game to get you into fights is very high between the zip lines, the balloons, and most importantly, the sliding mechanic. The sliding mechanic is one of the most ingenious things I've seen implemented in one of these games. Your ability to slide and move into battle is significantly faster and stronger than your ability to run away from battle. How many times have you gone into a battle or wanted to engage an enemy group and you spend like maybe 4 seconds sliding down a hill and you've covered a good 1/8 of the entire map because of how quick you can just fly your way down through? Or when you go into bunker and you go down by the stairs and you go all the way down through the sliding mechanic. Sliding gets you places really easily, but getting out of it, not so easy. Bailing from a fight is very tough, but getting into a fight is very easy. Pushing the engagements to a closer range rather than a longer range via map design alone. It's pretty genius. And another reason why they want you to get closer to your enemies in engagements is how the health and healing system works. Now, grenades are limited with their only 2-slot capacity, so especially at long-range sniper engagements, how many of you have tried to take a longbow, G2, anything in between, and attempt to fire off shots, pop shots, back and forth, the two of you, bang, 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 going back and forth, but all it ends up being is take a little bit of damage, go behind a rock, heal up, shield up, go back and go again. That fight takes years because the way the health and shielding system works. You can't one-shot somebody unless you got a Kraber and you're too far away to use shotguns, so it literally is just a Kraber. So long as they're positioning correctly, you cannot one-down somebody, and even if you do, they have a knockdown shield and teammates to revive them with. So the only way to really settle that fight is to get in their face, and that's the power of the positioning, the flanks, Mirage's ultimate, portals, zip lines, everything in between that can help you send that enemy team back to the ship is what's important in this game. Between the map design itself, the ammo grenades consumable part of the game, and how it is to engage an opponent using the correct way to flank, to get behind them, and I'm telling you, Pathfinder is probably a little bit hidden OP with his ability to flank so incredibly well. This game forces you to attack your friendly neighborhood Bangalore mains because I'm really sick of that passive. By the end of the game, when you've got 2 squads of 3, you've all got purple armor, tons of consumables, each of you have about 6 kills to your name, Spitfires, R301s, Peacekeepers with chokes and hop-ups, Wingmans with skull splitters. When you've done all that stuff and combined it together, the game becomes about who has the better aim and who has the better positioning. And it will force you to outthink your opponent. And that is so much more fun than just taking pot shots the entire game or building a mansion. To me. I'm always right, though. With all the good I've been saying about Apex, it's good to have a little bit of critical discussion. First things first, the communication is bar none. However, there are some things that are just bafflingly missing from some of the communication. Most primarily ultimate charges. Why are the teammates' ultimate charges in percentages not shown anywhere on the HUD? Not when you tab, nor in just the standard area next to their names. I really feel like ultimate charges could be extremely important, mainly so I don't have to keep on guessing how many ultimate accelerants my lifeline needs before I can get another level blue armor. Also, I really do believe that the ammunition type, or at least the gun pictures, should be shown. This could be either 2 ways. When you tab, you can see the equipment your teammates have. I would like either the name or the picture of the guns to be by their names, and if not that, at least give me the ammo type in my main HUD screen. This area right here has plenty of room to have heavy ammo, light ammo, or whatever ammo types the two weapons they currently are holding take. It'll allow me to point out ammo types they may or may not need. Personally, I would like little icons for ammo types on their names in the main HUD, and when you tab, to show me their guns they have. Because if I see they have two separate heavy ammo weapons, but they're the longbow and wingman, I don't think they really need a whole lot of extra ammo. But if I see double take and devotion, I'm pinging every goddamn energy ammo I can find. Next, we have bugs. Now recently, the Valentine's Day update did give us a little bit of some bug fixes, primarily the dropship and the loot doubling glitch. However, there are a couple other ones, most primarily the quicksand bug. The quicksand feet bug is one where you land on the ground and the entire game seems like it's moving at half speed because it thinks your character is still in the landing animation, slowing you down. This is easily the most crippling bug, and it makes you nearly unable to play the game for the first 2 minutes of the match. And if you land in any hotspot, you are doomed. This bug needs to be fixed immediately. There are also reports of a ton of crashes that I'm seeing across the board. Not as bad as Anthem, Omega lol, but still crashes need to be fixed ASAP. Also, there's some weird optimization issues on PC that I would like to be looked at. Frame rate drops, especially when using OBS. That is one of the more difficult problems that I'm seeing. Most of the things in the game setting, as in the options menu, the FOV slider, so on and so forth, that's great, but I would definitely ask for a little bit of extra optimization for the title. I also feel like there's a very large lack of a character roster. 8 characters starting out the game with only 6 available at launch seems a bit too small, considering that what the characters do is not incredibly different or special. I like the fact that the characters' abilities are rather muted in the overall game, but I also feel like I wish I could have a little bit more of a variety of a selection. I know they are adding new characters rather soon, however, especially if they are locked behind some form of legend token paywall, that's definitely going to make it a little bit more difficult because then you've got 6 out of 10 you can play instead of 6 out of 8. Doesn't really help the problem at all. I'm glad they're adding some new characters, but I just do hope that it's done right and it's done soon because only the 8 right now is a little bit lower than I would have liked. Also, the game is really needing a sense of progression. It seriously needs a sense of progression. Earning stuff, and I know I'm acting like a meme right now, but a sense of pride and accomplishment is very important in a game like this. And right now, only earning 600 Apex Legend coins or whatever those things are called, as well as an Apex pack once every other level after a certain period of time is just not doing it, not even close. I feel like I'm being punished for playing your game as much as I am by giving me fewer packs after a certain level threshold. Hey everybody, Future Bricky here. I was editing my video while watching another streamer and realized this is actually worse than I thought. So you get 1 pack around from level 0 to 25 or 20, I believe. Then you get a pack every other level after that, which is already pretty annoying. But then after level 50, you earn a pack every 3 levels. And it even gets worse. At max rank, level 100, you will earn a pack never. You will still level up, quote unquote, 18,000 XP per level, but you will never get another pack. Not at all. Once you hit max level, which is level 100, by the way. This is just ridiculous. That's completely ridiculous because if you're not going to earn packs, it also means you don't earn crafting materials. Therefore, once you hit max level, you cannot get anything in the game at all unless you pay money for it. And it's just that's really, really horrible. I'm quite surprised that they would do it this way. I get it, you know, free game and everything, but come on. I'm hoping that this will change with the battle pass system they're supposed to implement later on, but I wanted to butt in here and tell you that because, wow, that is horrible. That is so incredibly horrible. Okay, back to past Bricky now. I feel like if Overwatch can give you a box every single level and that box contains 4 items instead of 3, you could do the same once per level. Or at least give me 1 every time I win a game. This pushes me to another issue of XP gain. The XP gain and how you earn XP is very varying. Just look at the amount of XP I'm gaining from this game right here. The amount from how long I've lived, just living, compared to my win, kills, and damage is insane. This game pushes you to fight people. This game wants you to fight people. I need to be rewarded in the XP bar as well for fighting people. If you don't want to give extra XP in general, as in buff the amount you get from kills and damage done, at least take away some of it from the time survived area and put it into the other one. Because the amount you get for kills is just kind of laughable. Overall, the amount you get from a win I think is okay, but there needs to be a tweak to put more into kills and damage done. This also moves on to the point of the kill leader and champion. There is no reason to want to be the kill leader or the champion. Being the kill leader or the champion from the last game, all it does is put a target on your head and give you a big, hey, kill this man for 500 XP. There should be some form of benefit for getting it. Being the kill leader should net you around 20 to 25% more XP for all actions taken while you remain the kill leader. For kills, damage done, revives, respawns, and time survived while you're the kill leader, you should be gaining more XP. If you're the champion from the last game and you are listed as the champion for the game you get into, you should have a flat 10% increase in XP for that match. You have earned a win. You should therefore be rewarded if people are going to gain more XP for killing you. Getting a lot of XP for being the kill leader not only is nice for the whole part of being a kill leader, but also it warrants more aggressive play so you can gain more XP. Your game already pushes people to fight each other quite often. It would be nice to have a little bit of an adjustment in the XP charts to warrant it and to want to be the kill leader.
Future Bricky back again. Just want to say I didn't want to comment on any of the balancing for legends or weapons. I think that's stuff that changes quite often, and I wanted this to be a more generalized video instead of one that could change in a week. But if you wanted a long story short, Bangalore and Bloodhound need their speed boosts toned in a little bit, and also the Peacekeeper shotgun and the Wingman, particularly with the head splitter, could use some tweaks. Okay, thank you, bye.
Finally, we get to one of my most important points, the monetization system. Now, the game is free to play, awesome, which means it needs to make its money back somehow. How does it do that? It does it by loot boxes. Now, personally, I don't think loot boxes are acceptable in any stretch of the imagination. The only time I find it somewhat acceptable, and maybe not even acceptable, but less egregious, is when you're able to purchase the things outright. I don't have a big fuss with the League of Legends monetization system because everything you get from their Hex Tech crates can be purchased with real money one at a time outright. In Apex Legends, it is more of the Overwatch system. Now, it does do a little bit better job than Overwatch, mainly because there is no duplicates of any kind. They list the percentage chance you get of getting everything directly on the box. You've got bad luck protection. Every 30 crates, you'll get one legendary every time. And most importantly, you get salvage to create and craft the stuff you want as you start to get everything that you already can get. So if you continually get boxes and there's less stuff for you to earn, you'll just simply get more and more salvage, and this will allow you to craft more stuff. I personally don't think it is the worst because I appreciate the transparency that they put right there, but it is not my favorite. And I find it very strange that they would put loot boxes in this game when they are actively fighting laws to try to remove loot boxes in other countries. I find that really odd, but I don't know, I guess this is what they did. Now, you also get legend tokens from leveling up. This allows you to purchase new legends as well as special skins for certain guns that are variations, but those special skins are only purchasable if you have the original legendary one anyway. They do have a featured shop that allows you to purchase stuff just with the standard Apex coins, your premium currency, instead of buying loot boxes. That is a step above, but I wish they would let you do it through everything. Most legendaries in the shop are 1800 Apex coins. Make every legendary 1800. Make every purple 1000. Make every blue 500, whatever. Allow me to buy stuff on its own. Because I promise you, more people would buy stuff if you let me just pick it up. I have less of an interest in spending money on boxes to roll the dice than if I could just buy that damn Angel City skin for Mirage. I do feel like legend tokens should be exchangeable for Apex coins. I don't know how much, maybe 10,000 tokens for 1,000 coins. I don't know, but I feel like the option should be there. I also believe that you should gain some form of crafting material scrap every level up. Could not be something huge, maybe only around 15 or 30 every single level, but something if you're gonna take away loot boxes and make them only one every other level. Now, even though we may not all enjoy Fortnite for what it is, it does have one of the best, most consumer-friendly business models I have seen in gaming. Free to play, battle pass, purchase stuff with your money, no loot boxes. I am talking about the Battle Royale, not to save the world. That thing is not good. Battle Royale version is an extremely friendly monetization system, and all this is incredibly good for the consumer. Even though, sure, it can be kind of expensive, at least it's there and there's no gambling chance and the game remains free. I feel the best way to combat a large amount of the problems that I have in the current game is with this implementation of the Battle Pass system. But if you're gonna copy the Battle Pass system, which I have been told there will be a Battle Pass coming up in the next patch, just saying, if you're gonna do that Battle Pass, copy the Fortnite version. Do not copy the Black Ops version. Do not put new legends as unlockables in your Battle Pass. Do not have any kind of in-game item unlockable via your Battle Pass. Make your Battle Pass primarily about increased XP gains, cosmetics, and Apex coins, as well as legend tokens. That is the most important part, and that will assist in your sense of progression that we were discussing earlier. Cosmetic skins, gestures, poses, banners, badges, anything like that. That is what it should be filled with. And even similar to something like Fortnite, if you want to add Apex coins as various Battle Pass achievements as well, that would be even better. It gives someone a reward, a legitimate monetary reward for grinding your game. Also, the sense of progression in the Battle Pass allows your hard work to pay off. Now, it is kind of a meme, but John Wick's skin in Fortnite became a meme because someone who had a John Wick skin completed the entire Battle Pass in Fortnite at that time. They grinded the game very hard, and so when someone saw any kind of John Wick, it would immediately just start tightening up their anus and freak them the hell out. Now, a lot of people at Respawn, I'm talking to you more directly right now, are ex-Infinity Ward developers. There's obviously a lot of new people, but a lot of you came from Infinity Ward. At least I'm assuming there's still a decent amount of you there. And I'm sure you can resonate with me a little bit on this one, but back in the days of Call of Duty 4, when you fought a team of all Golden Cross level 55, it was terrifying. It scared you, because you looked at that and you were like, oh no, I'm doomed. We don't get a lot of skill-based cosmetics nowadays like we did back in the old days, especially in a game like Halo Reach. Seeing someone with that crazy armor got you a little bit frightened back in the day. And we don't have that nowadays. And it's one of the reasons, even with the problems that I have with Fortnite, I love the progression system. Because when I saw somebody in that crazy skin, it scared me. It instilled fear. And I want to be able to be that Mirage main that when they see the clone run past them, they think to themselves, I'm doomed. Everything nowadays is either a timed exclusive or an event. I want something to grind for. I want a special thing to show me I am that Mirage main. And I'm sure a lot of you can understand that as well because of the prior titles you've worked on. Okay, now that the monetization system is out of the way, let us wind down with some fun little inside stuff you may not know about Apex Legends and the Titanfall universe. One of the things I like a lot about Apex is it feels like it's made for me, a Titanfall fan. Now, a lot of the jokes and things in the game are directed by Titanfall 2 players. For instance, Titanfall 2 had a special pilot ability called the Holo Pilot. It was generally considered one of the worst abilities in the game, and no one really ever used it, even though the armor looked really cool. Every time someone would use it correctly, though, and someone would actually be fooled by it, the tiny time it did, everyone in the world would start screaming, bamboozled! Y'all got bamboozled! Bamboozled! Boom! Bamboozled, bitch! And what do you know? Mirage and his holograms say bamboozle as often as he possibly can. a great homage to the old Titanfall 2 fans and their ability to constantly yell bamboozle after winning something with a holopilot. Blisk, the man you see in the beginning of the cinematic of Apex Legends, is actually the owner of a mercenary group called Apex Predators, which acted as the quasi-antagonists of Titanfall 2. He also consistently says the line, "You kill me, you're better. I kill you, I'm better." Out, he took that quite literally and created a blood sport out of his mercenary group. The Mastiff was a meme weapon. It was generally referred to as the meme stiff. It was probably one of the worst weapons in Titanfall 2. Some people will have my head for that statement, but it is true. It was statistically a very, very bad weapon. Same thing with the Kraber in a weird way. The Kraber was a one-shot kill to any part of the body, but in a game like Titanfall with an already insanely fast time to kill, the wall running, jumping, gliding, zip lining, grappling, and everything in between, landing a projectile-based bullet drop, bolt action sniper rifle shot on a pilot was damn hard. How funny that the Mastiff and the Kraber are now the best legendary weapons in the game after being some of the worst in the prior title. Pathfinder is a robot called a Marvin, or MRVN. Marvin was a faction added at the end of the life cycle of Titanfall 2. What the Marvin would do as you jump out of the dropship is attempt to high-five you, and no one would high-five him and he would be all sad. A petition was started to high-five the Marvin. Everyone kept on saying, "Why won't you let us high-five the Marvin?" Pathfinder has more high-five references than I could possibly count. And now you know where it came from. This is just a fraction of the references you can find in Titanfall 2 to Apex Legends. There are so many things that it feels like the people who made this game, Respawn of course, actually put a lot of thought from their old community into what is now this mega success. And it feels kind of nice being represented as a standard funneled grapple flatline North Star player Gen 7.5 in the prior game. It feels nice being part of a community that wasn't really left behind with the new creation of the title. Now that we are here, I wanted to end this video on a couple of things. Apex Legends is a mega success. A literal overnight success. This many players, this fast, with no marketing is nigh unheard of, and it's extremely nice to see Respawn getting the credit they deserve for creating such an impressive title. With most mega successes, however, you gotta be careful and play it smart as the time goes on, and while I do believe the roadmap they have set up is pretty solid, I am more so just hoping that this game remains as fun as it is, and they don't take any majorly drastic changes too soon. What you've got here is an extremely solid foundation for a game that feels mostly polished, fun, unique, while still being familiar. And that is a rare sight to see. Respawn deserve a ton of credit for their work. They also have apparently a team working on a VR game and a team working on a Star Wars game. And especially for me as a Titanfall fan, I know with this game's success, it means more funding, it means more projects, and hopefully we get some cool new Titanfall stuff down the future. Because if we're ever gonna get new Titanfall stuff, Apex Legends succeeding is how we're gonna get it. To any Respawn developers watching this, you did fantastic. I know I'm not in a position to say this, but I am very, very proud of y'all for making an already great game like Titanfall 2, throwing it in the universe, and creating a far more popular, but also fantastic title. Now, a little bit of self-promo here. Just let me do it, all right? I'm located in the Orange County area. I know you guys are in LA. If you need anyone to help you out with stuff, testing, anything like that, please let me know. Follow me on my social medias or anything, because I am very down and would love to be a part of the ongoing process of Apex Legends. And that ends the video. I hope this green screen thing worked out, because damn, I love this game. Honestly, I adore this game so much. It's so fun. I can't stop playing it. I'm really hoping for the best with it, and I am excited to see what they have in the future. For the time being, I'm going to go ahead and end this video with a little bit of self-promotion. If you enjoyed this video at all, or you want to see more like it, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If there are anything else you want to do to help support me, you can always stop by the Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/Bricky to go ahead and watch me play Apex Legends a decent amount. Or if you want to support me a different way, you can always go to my merch store at brickymerch.com. There's a lot of different kinds of designs and style shirts and hoodies that I have there that I personally really like, and all the ideas came from me, and it's really fun having my own merch site and not having to go through somebody else and doing it all myself. It's just new and enjoyable, and if you have any interest in checking it out, there's some fun stuff you want to look at, go ahead and give it a look. You can find it in the description if you want to support me or you just want some cool merch. And finally, social media. It's all in the description. Twitter, Instagram, so on. You check me out if you'd like. And that is going to be it for me. Anyway, I know it's been a long video. Thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure having you here. Please, 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 please stop using the enemy ping just to get my attention. Only ping when there's actually an enemy there. Thank you very much. Okay, goodbye.